What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're checking out Against the Storm. We've done a couple of videos on this in the past. The first one when I think it was going to be releasing on Epic, and then a second one to check up on updates about a year ago. This time around, I've got something a little bit special for you. The developers got up in my email a couple of days ago, and they sent me access to the Steam build because the game has a Steam update coming soon where you're going to be able to buy the game on that platform. And the really fun part about this is that this build has a whole bunch of stuff that is not yet available on the EGS branch. And so anyways, this is kind of stuff that's still like theoretical and in testing and a bunch of other things. And so I think today's going to be a really fun episode. If you've never seen Against the Storm before, you haven't watched any of my previous videos, that's okay because the game has changed a lot since those days. The first demo was basically kind of like the core alpha ideas they were trying to get across. The second one had a little bit more content in it, but this is the most feature-complete version that I've seen so far. They've definitely done a really good job injecting some structure into the game, and definitely with this build getting across what the ultimate goal and what the ultimate tempo and timber and kind of attitude is of what the game is going to be like. And so that's why I'm really excited to show this here today. Against the Storm is a game where it's a roguelike colony survival game. So basically, you are a group of settlers that are being repeatedly sent out into an apocalyptic world where there's like these nightmare storms that happen, and it's set in a medieval fantasy world with different races that are occupying your village, and the goal is for you to deliver demands to an empress back in the capital who is trying to reclaim territory from the storm, and if you can deliver on those demands and fill up your meter on hope, before the queen gets angry with you and terminates the project, you have effectively won. By winning or by getting further on into your playthrough, you get metagame currency that you can use to upgrade the capital with the resources that you've produced from the various settlements that you've been doing kind of over and over again. And so it's got that kind of in common with Kenga, I guess. Kenga's a little bit different because there's a little bit more conflict involved. But ultimately, like, the goal is the same. You are given a procedural map, you need to build a city, deliver on demands, and if you can do that, you win the map, you get resources, you go back and you unlock things. So let's dive on in. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, you can play it right now on Epic. It's been out for about a year on Epic, I guess. And then the Steam branch is going to be releasing fairly soon, and so I'll have both of those links down below for you so that you can check them both out. On top of that, we'll also have a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream. Pretty good chance over the course of the next week I'm going to stream this game because I want to get further on into the build. That's one of the great weaknesses in the content that I create is, like, as a content creator, I feel like it's really important to understand the weaknesses of the content that you make and make those clear to your audience. The weakness of the content that I make is that I can play for hours beforehand, but really, some games can't be encapsulated in a 30-minute play session, and it sort of is what it is. And so I see the stream as being a little bit of a supplement to that for any game that I feel like I didn't really get the full idea across, I guess. But I've been blabbering for a couple of minutes now. This is definitely on the longer side of my intro, so we'll jump on into the game, and we will get going. So I went ahead and I played through all the tutorials for all of you. The tutorials over here, they are quite long, but this is a game that has a lot of moving parts and a lot of production chains and things of that nature, and so I made a decision pretty early on that I didn't want to show tutorial gameplay. And so I've knocked out both of the tutorials. The first one's about 15 minutes. The second one's a little bit longer, and it's going to take you some time to move through. I think I've been playing for probably about an hour and 30 minutes prior to the recording of this video, just to kind of familiarize myself with what's going on. It looks like we've got to select a grid that we would like to play the game inside of. So, it looks to me like potentially we should be able to put something down like over here. If you see those little bread rolls right there, this is sort of a dystopian game where people, they trade their labor for like food effectively, and the food you take back to the capital is ultimately what allows you to upgrade the settlements. I would like to go, I don't know what that is, the Monastery of the Holy Flame. They're a fanatically egalitarian order. You cannot forbid food consumption and favor any species. Okay, interesting. So that's going to put a modifier on our village that's going to make it so that we can't, like, do certain behaviors. Let's go ahead and we'll set out for right here, I guess. This looks pretty good to me. That looks all right. We've got caravans that are going out this way, and we've got to choose which caravan we want to take. So there's 3 races in this game. There's human beings, there's beavers, and there are lizard men. Human beings are really good at cultivation and anything that has to do with plants and farming. The lizard men are really good at anything that has to do with conflict and hunting. And the beavers are really good at anything that has to do with craftsmanship and with harvesting, basically. Although there are there are little things in there that are a tad different. So they're good at harvesting trees. They are beavers after all. My suggestion would be let's start out with the humans, because that gives us a homogenous society, and that very much limits the amount of needs that we need to provide for. It just makes things a little bit simpler. We'll embark. Yes, I would. There are still points to be spent. What points? Oh, we can embark with bonuses. Yeah, let's take all 3 of those. So I can get some eggies. I like some eggies, dude. Some eggies and onions, or some eggies and cheddar. That's pretty good. That's what I do, is I make, like, scrambled eggs, and then I, like, chop up some diced onions in there. I put the onions in first so that they, like, caramelize a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? With, like, some butter. Then I put the eggs in. Once the onions get nice and soft, hit it with some salt, some pepper, and then you put a nice layer of Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese across the top. That right there, utility meal. Nice, cheap, and easy. Okay. So the forest mysteries. It looks like there are euphoric vapors. Okay. Active from the hostility 0 during drizzle. Okay, we need to be providing 2 complex foods in order to get that bonus. There is cricket mating grounds. So clearings buzz with cricket sounds. Gain 30 insects for every time you discover a glade. Okay, so insects are a food in this game. And then we also have a fresh breeze. So it looks like if we have 1 complex food and 1 house, units become faster while they move around. It looks like we've also got some bad stuff here. So it looks like we have rampaging storms that lower people's resolve even further. It looks like we've got creeping shadows, which discovering a glaive during a storm will decrease the global resolve of everyone by -10. Okay, so they don't like exploring while the storm is going. And then over here we have fog. Active from hostility 1 during storm. And it looks like our units are going to move slower until they have housing, possibly? I don't really know, but there are modifiers on each run. And so we've got our humans out here. We've got 1 beaver that has pragmatic frugality. This is our beacon. If this beacon goes out, we die. Effectively, the way you need to think about it is that this flame right here is holding back the storm, so that when the storm comes through, we still get hit, but we don't get hit as hard. It's like a magical altar that protects us. And so we need to feed resources to this thing in order to keep it burning. Otherwise, bad stuff happens. You don't want that. Let's go ahead and we'll get started with our planning over here. I'm actually going to drop that off my clicker real fast. You can take a look at the UI on the left side. You're going to get a synopsis of everybody that lives inside your village. 9 humans and 1 beaver is what we have. Down here, it's glowing. This is going to be a track that basically dictates success or failure. If we can fill up this blue meter before this red meter fills up, we win. That's it. That's all there is to it. If the red meter fills up, we lose because it's the impatience of the queen on the deliveries that she expects from us. We've also got ourselves our listed resources up here. This menu, it does condense a lot of things into a couple different tabs, but by and large, it's been fairly easy to keep track of everything, and I haven't worried about it that much. Let's get started by buying our buildings. It looks like we can get a plantation. It looks like we can get an herb garden, and it looks like we can get a forager's camp. Okay. I think I will go with a forager's camp because we have that bonus to bugs. I believe that I will take a... I don't really know what I want here. All 3 of these could be useful in their own way. I'm going to take the brickyard for pottery because you need pottery in order to make alcohol that you can serve at the tavern to keep everybody's mood up. So I think that's like the earliest game thing that I can solve. The brewery is going to go specifically with what we took previously, so I would suggest that we take that as well, because now we've got a full production chain going into the game, which is really something that I like to isolate. Now, this is the game world. We live inside this little area right here. The shadowy areas are glades. Inside the glades, you will find more resources. You may find events. You may find areas that can be pillaged and looted from previous expeditions. These are glades, but they're dangerous glades. Those are glades that have like a curse on them or some kind of threat that's been caused by the storm. And when we go in there, we're going to need to have a concrete plan for how we're going to deal with that crisis, because they can be very, very, very costly if you don't deal with them in kind of an expedient way. So for example, I had one glade that I opened up that every 4 minutes, a curse, like a giant death laser would come out of this crypt that was in there, and it would murder 3 of my villagers every 5 minutes. And so, like I said, you got to deal with it fast, like really fast for some of the problems. So I would definitely recommend you not crack those open until you absolutely have to. Let's get started with some of our labor. I'm going to start charting out the city and how it functions. We don't have a lot of food around, which is kind of unfortunate. We do have these eggies down here, so I'll probably try to make use of the eggies. But the first thing that I would like to do is I'd like to see what resources we have available. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make a woodcutter's camp on this side. That's going to be my first build. Now, it did cost me parts to do this. You start out with a limited number of advanced parts, basically. We can scavenge eggs from over here. Yeah, let's go ahead and scavenge the eggs as well. And then we'll kind of see, there you go, all of my villagers are walking around. I really like the art style in this game. Like, they've gone a really long way to make all the characters very, very interesting. Like, even the humans, they wear giant turtle shells on their backs to protect them from, like, the cursed rain. Like, the style of this game is very, very good and very unique and very odd and very kind of foreign and strange. And that's one of the things I like about it very much, while at the same time it still has the fidelity of, like, a modernized Warcraft 3 almost when it comes to the graphical style. I dig it. All right, so we've got 10 people that need homes, so we're going to have to build 4 houses, but we're going to need to get some wood up and running before we can do that. We only have 30 wood. Our wood chopper is now done. We need to assign workers. Since we don't have any beavers, humans are going to have to do this task, and humans are not very good at wood chopping. That's just the truth of the matter. They're okay at it, but they're not, like, great at it. We also need to designate some areas to be chopped. I'm going to go ahead and tell them to chop that entire clearing right there to give us both extra building space and to clear out that glen. The nice thing about this game is that all the buildings can be moved freely as you see fit. We'll put a couple of humans in here to go gather those eggies right there. And then our next plan is going to be to build some basic shelters. I'll put one in right here. I will put one in right there. I will put one in right there, and I will put one in right here. And hopefully the resources line up. It looks like we still have enough wood left over that we don't have to worry too much about our fire. Okay, maybe I lied. They are gathering wood, though, and they should bring it back kind of in clumps to resupply the central area. Every building in this game has its own personal storage. You can see them stacking up wood right here. And then once it fills up and the storage is up to the brim, they'll deliver it to the town center. And so in a lot of ways, you kind of want to be thinking about the efficiency of your village as you build. Now, in the top right, we've got a couple of events. I do think that these tabs are a little bit small. I would maybe recommend making these a little bit larger and getting them kind of like bottom center of the screen where they pop up and start glowing when you need to interact with them. I have missed them a number of times up here in the top right corner and just kind of missed out. It might just be because I have a big monitor. And so, like, when I'm looking at the center of the screen, my peripheral vision doesn't really catch the flashing. But I would like these buttons to either be bigger because they've got a lot of free space up here, or I would like for, like, a rectangle to pop up down here that has each of these. So we have our orders. Let's go ahead and pick an order. All right, so the Crown has sent you new orders, Viceroy. Pick one and the rest will go to the other settlements. We can build a forager's camp. We can get broccoli, and we can get bugs. And if we deliver those, we will get a perk that makes it so we permanently produce more bugs. We will get 30 stone, and we will get 2 more villagers. The other option is we can go for planks, which are actually pretty easy to produce. It's going to be a while before we can hit that. I don't think we don't have broccoli around, so this one's kind of risky. I'm going to take the easy one. Over here, we have cut through the forest to discover 2 glades. All right, and then we've also got Scavenger's Camp and Stonecutter's Camp. We've already got the Scavenger's Camp, but we don't have any stone to cut just yet. We're already clearing our way to the glades with our wood choppers, so I'm going to take that one. This right here, the Crown has sent you new orders. We can clear 3 glades, or we can get 35 logs. This will allow our workers to carry more stuff. It's a permanent perk. Or we can get 2 more villagers. In this case, I'm going to go with the 2 more villagers, even though we could get kind of like a 2 birds with 1 stone for the 2 glades that are up here. I feel like we need the extra villagers. We also have a perk choice. So these are called cornerstones, but basically they are perks for your society that will change the trajectory of how you play the game and what industries you focus on. So we can get Sahilda's Secret Cookbook, top 10 tips on how to cook more efficiently. We get 5 jerky for every 10 pies we make. The forest recedes as heavily as guarded trade caravans pour into the settlement. Hostility is reduced by 15 points every time you sell goods that are worth 25 amber. Okay. I could probably go for that, yeah. We do have hostility to track, so basically the hostility of the storms is going to get worse and worse and worse, depending on how much we exploit the forest. The forest in this game is very much magically alive and working in collusion with the storm that's overhead. And so anyways, it's going to get mad at us. That perk right there, it basically gives me a win button for if the hostility gets too high, I can just dump anything that I'm really, really overstocked on to make money, and then this will go down, basically. So I like that because it kind of gives me a ripcord that I can pull if things are going to go wrong. All of our houses have concluded their building for the most part. Everything is done very, very well in this game. I love all the progress meters. You can reprioritize things. You can cycle through all buildings of a similar type. You can move any building whenever you want to move it. A lot of really, really good quality of life features in here, and the stuff that's just like standard fare for this genre is also done up to an acceptable standard by comparison to, you know, other RTS or other strategy games that exist out there, I suppose. I'm going to run a road back this way just to loop everything off. I don't think it would be a terrible idea to get another wood chopper going. But there's not really a whole lot of industries for us to exploit right now. Like, I could get some of this flax, but, like, apparently we also have a chance to get bugs out of the flax. So I suppose that I would consider it. We don't have any farm fields on our tile. We got a little bit of a rough tile compared to, like, the tutorial missions, but the tutorial missions kind of have everything... They kind of have everything self-contained, I suppose. I guess we could get a harvester's camp going. Just kind of, like, stock up. There's no limit on the amount of stuff we can store, and so, like, I'm not going to stress too much about it. As of right now, the food that's coming in, we're living primarily off of eggs. I actually need to focus their chopping a little bit better. It's going to take us too long to get to this glade right here with the current chop setup. So I'm going to have them chop right there, and then what we'll do is we'll rotate this and move it over to here so that we can get into there, and that will give us one of our tasks done. And then as we're stacking up wood, because I'm not really building anything right now, we'll be able to accomplish that task as well to deliver the 35 wood to the queen or the empress or whoever. How far does that go out? Yeah, continue chopping as far back as you can. I was hoping they would get that tree pretty shortly. Oh, nice. We have a clearing right now, so everybody's going to work a little faster. We do want to open this glade right now and not during the storm because we have that debuff that we have to be paying attention to. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Hopefully we can get it knocked out before too long. Oh, I have orders that are ready to complete. Oh, nice. I can deliver the 35 wood. Let's go ahead and do it. So there's our first task done. And as you can see, our blue meter has filled up a little bit. There are caveats to this system, so you can make the meter fill up on its own without any interaction. If you make your colonists very happy to the point where they get above this little blue line right here on their mood meter, you can figure out how to do that by taking a look at their mood lists. Every race of people requires different things in order to be happy. So they get a +3 buff for having shelter. They get a +5 buff if you give them racially specialized shelters, because like the beavers are shorter, the lizards are taller, the humans like different creature comforts than, you know, the beavers do, and so on and so forth. From there, with complex foods, you can boost it up by like another 2 or like another 3. And eventually, if you can get the meters up above right here, the meter, this down here, this blue meter, it'll fill up on its own. Just as time passes, which can actually make it really easy if you can basically, hey, there's our first glade. We've got some rooty things over here, and we've got some more eggies. Okay, not exactly what I was looking for. We'll move that over to there real fast. And I'd like to get this open too, because I didn't get what I wanted out of here. We'll go ahead and get that done right there, and hopefully they can get this passage opened up before the next storm arrives. Otherwise, we're going to be kind of trapped where we are. You're sort of stuck where you are. But in your dreams, you can... Oh, yeah, every time we get to one of these little diamonds on the track for victory, we get to pick a new building that'll help out. The smokehouse probably isn't a bad idea. I'll take the smokehouse. We don't really have anything to hunt just yet, but assuming that we do find something that we can hunt, preserving it and turning it into jerky counts as a complex food, and complex food gives you those mood boosts that I was talking about, and so I'd like to get mood boosts. We will cancel this chopping if they don't get there in time. It looks like we're going to be right down to the wire. Oh, and it depended, I think, on if they were going to get a delivery or not. They did get a delivery. Oh, we're cutting this so close. Please get that tree down. Okay, so I have no idea what those are. Those are apparently sea marrow, ancient fossils that are rich in resources. But we did get a farm. We got a farm. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and we're going to start strip clearing this area. And do I have any other tasks I can turn in? I can. There we go. So we'll turn this guy in as well, and apparently this gives us steel pickaxes, so our stone production permanently goes up. Very nice. We also get to pick another building, which is good. What do we have? We have a plantation, so we can produce berries and plant fibers. I don't think we're going to need that. I'm going to take the small farm instead so that we can get vegetables and we can get grain, because that gets us on the path to alcohol, which I think is something we definitely want to get out there. People love alcohol, man. It's one of those things that everybody likes. What are you guys doing? Oh, you're picking roots right now. I don't recall what the roots are for. Oh, they eat them. Nice. Okay, so roots count as a food. The hostility of the forest is creeping upwards right now, which is a little bit concerning. Did we get our 2 new villagers? Or was that a different task? We did get our 2 new villagers. Oh, and they were both beavers. Nice. Okay, so what we can do here is we can take this wood chopper and we can kick out these humans, and we can make the beavers do it, because the beavers get a fat bonus towards chopping trees because, meh, they're beavers, you know what I mean? We'll go ahead and continue clearing over there. We're ahead of the Queen's Ire right now, which is good. That's where I prefer to be, is kind of out and ahead of that stuff. Our production chains are moving. Everything's looking pretty good. We can't really get a farm in over here. I guess I could try to get a farm in early. Let's go ahead and move this over to here. We'll move that to right there. Oh, I can get a farm in. Okay, there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to our food. We're going to get the small farm. We're going to plop that in right there. I turn my volume down. I'm deafening myself right now. You guys aren't going to hear it because I'm touching it up in post, but I just realized my PC is running on like 100% volume, and like my ears are just like, whee! I'm just like, all right, maybe I should stop this. We need to plant farm fields as well on all of these fertile tiles, so we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. And they're going to start growing broccoli, and they're going to start growing grain. The grain we can use to either make bread or we can make beer out of it. And then the broccoli we can use for skewers and a couple of other complex things, just in case we wanted to get the mood boost. But I would recommend we start looking into the possibility of mood boosts for sure. We've got a bunch of things we got to deal with right now. It looks like we have to take 2 more orders. So let's go ahead and give that some thought. They want us to produce clay bricks, planks, and cloth. Okay, we do have the flax. The only thing we don't have is clay. We also have, they want us to produce 10 packs of trade goods and 10 packs of provisions. I think we can do that from the provisioner now, but I'm not crazy familiar with the provisioner. Like, I know how to get this done, but I don't know that I've ever built the provisioner. We'll go with this one since it's a little bit easier. And then over here, they want me to make 30 clothes or 8 beef jerky. We don't have a meat supply yet, so I'm a little bit worried about taking that. I really prefer to only take goals that I know, like, a very real path to get to them. And so I'm a little... Oh, we needed planks in order to build that up. Okay, well then we're going to have to get busy here. Let's go ahead and we will make a crude workstation. And then we'll put that right there. Where would I be without juvenile humor? Well, definitely not working on the internet, I'll tell you that. They're clearing out the eggies over here. And once those eggies have been cleared, we'll move that over to here, and they'll get the roots and the eggies that are over on this side. Once they get done with their chopping orders on this side, actually, they're close enough that I could tell them to open up that glade right there, too. What is it right now? Are we on drizzling right now? Drizzling. Does this count when it's drizzling? No, it's only from discovering during a storm, not during drizzle. So that gives us a little bit more breathing room, in my opinion. Let's chop that guy down and see what's inside of there. Once we're done, we'll move the wood chopping camp over to this side. We'll clear out this entire forest right here. We'll leave that sealed for now because I don't want to deal with any major crises with where we're at. We need a couple of workers over here. I don't have any beavers that I can put on it, unfortunately. So that's life. However, our harvesting camp is done, so we're going to get some of our workers back right there. So I guess I'll just put the humans on these. I'm going to set a limit. I only want 15 planks, 10 cloth, and 10 bricks. I've been sitting here for a minute watching the timer track to figure out... Oh, it's going to be a clearance. Okay, so I can just kind of chop down trees freely. How are we looking on wood right now? 106? Very nice. Perfect. And how are we moving with building materials? Are we doing okay over here? We got 18 parts. Okay. I'd definitely like to see some planks get knocked out for sure. There's the planks that we needed for the farm. So now we can put humans on this who are really good at growing. And we will tell them to make vegetables and we will tell them to make grain. And they should do a nice even 50-50 split on that with the farm fields that are available. I'm also hoping that as we chop down these trees right here, there'll be farm fields underneath them, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. And this glade should be clear in just a second. Let's see. Oh, I thought we were going to get big money, big prizes. I love it. We didn't get big money, big prizes. I love it. I take it back. All right, there we go. Now they're chopping down the gatekeeper trees. We have provisions over here, and it looks like we have more flax. Was really hoping there'd be a hunting ground over here. It looks like that'll give me reeds, and it will give me ale. Or I can get half a level's worth of favor, and I can get $10. So that if a trader comes, I can buy things. In this game, amber is the currency. Because it's dangerous to chop down the trees, that has created a scarcity in tree-related goods, like things like resin and amber and sap. And so people in this game universe use tree blood basically as currency because it's hard to get. They use it as a trade good. Okay, we're done over here. That means it's time to move over to this side. And we will cancel the chopping over here. And then we will queue up some chopping right here. I don't know if they'll get it done in time before the storm. But we're going to give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. If nothing else, they'll clear a little bit that way. And then after we're done right there, we're going to move it over to here. And we're going to clear to this glen, I think. We do have some notifications from the capital. They've sent us more settlers, so we can get 2 lizards and a human, or we can get a human, or 2 humans and a lizard. I'll take the 2 humans and a lizard because it makes supplying housing much, much easier. Like about halfway through this game, they're going to offer us a specialized house for humans or for one of the races, and having mostly humans is going to make it really, really easy to corner a fat morale bonus, basically. And so that's kind of what I'm angling towards right now. We're going to go ahead and cancel this in just a minute because I don't think they're going to get done in time, and I don't want to harvest during the storm. Instead, what we will do is we will chop... How far out does their chop-a-nation go? Let's just clear this area out for building. And then we pretty much just need more planks. Is really what it comes down to. We've also got another... Okay. Alright, so we've got another perk. Rich Glades. Newly discovered resource nodes will have 10 more charges. Okay. A farmer's favorite dish. Farmers have a 50% chance to produce double yields when they are under the effect of having eaten biscuits. Biscuits are good, but we'll take that right there. That sounds better to me. And so we'll kind of line it up on that side. There are a number of ways that the metagame matters in this title, in case you were wondering. So as you produce resources and you kind of win and lose roguelike style, you get currency to go back and rebuild the capital. There's also, what I like is the game has weaponized achievements as well. There are achievements that if you do them, they unlock like new, better versions of buildings, or they make your villagers walk faster, or they give you new decorations to kind of spruce the place up and make it look unique, like statues and stuff like that signify your victories. There's a lot of really cool things you can kind of do with the progression system. We do have a victory right there. I'm going to go ahead and take it because we are behind right now when it comes to the Queen's impatience. Yeah, we'll just keep it going, and we get a new building here. We can get the provisioner. We could get the bakery. What are the skewers made out of? You know, I don't really want any of these things, unfortunately. I don't necessarily need any of them because I can't produce meat in a lot of cases. I think the bakery is probably the best call, but even the bakery is a little bit like, maybe. Let's go ahead and make sure we don't carve through into that dangerous clearing over there. We should be able to clear this area in just a minute. So for 5 planks, okay, I need to save up my planks so that I can turn in this guy over here. But we desperately need to find a meat supply. If we don't find a meat supply, like a lot of the things that we're being expected to take care of cannot be taken care of, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing we can do there. Do I need to move this to make it more effective? Oh, it takes a lumber to do that. Okay. Go ahead and drop the limits down on those to 8. I want you guys working on planks as much as possible. Only make planks, please. Newcomers are ready. Okay. So over here... Oh, dude, we've got new orders. All right. So our next order is going to be 6 packs of provisions. Cut through the forest to discover 4 glades. We get 3 lizards with that one. We do Lizards clan support after the Great Civil War. 3 species are locked in constant struggle to get the Queen's favor. The Lizard Elders will remember your help. Let's do it. There's people in need. And we've also got some harder orders here. So we've got building materials. We've got have 8 humans for 60 seconds and keep their resolve above 28. Oof, that's a tough one. Okay. We're at 18, but we have mostly humans. Over here, we've got get 2 ancient tablets. Ooh, that's the one where you got to crack open the dangerous areas, but that gives us beef jerky so that we can complete the other task. So I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. We did carve through over to here, and it looks like we got some broccoli and what looks like a beneficial agreement, so we get more traders. Oof, not in love with what we grabbed here. Like, this is actually getting pretty intense pretty fast, but I like that. Like, I like that even on, like, your first run in this game, they've got you kind of running your hand over the top of your head being like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, like, I like that. It lends an intensity to the game that is lacking from a lot of, like, city builders. Like, most city builders really, really lean into kind of the relaxing idea of gameplay, and I sort of like that with this game. They are leaning into the fact that, like, no, this is actually supposed to be kind of an intense game. You're supposed to be a little bit stressed. You're supposed to be hustling, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and we will grab the beer from over here with one of our workers. We will grab the beneficial agreement, I think. Actually, we'll grab the money and the reputation to stay ahead of the curve, and we'll send them over to investigate those. Hopefully they can get this chopped down pretty soon. I don't know what we're going to have to do. Oh, we got newcomers too. So we get another perk, +1 production yields on all packs of good. Meat delivery, 5 meat per minute. I want it. Give it to me. We need that right now so that I can open up a smokehouse and we can get the beef jerky going for our quest, although that's kind of being solved by other stuff right now. But you get what I'm trying to say. All right. So lumberjacks are jacking it. The farmers are farming it. The gatherers are gathering it. The eggers are egging it. And we got to get tablets, so I have to crack this open right here. Basically, these always have a stone tablet in them. but they make your playthrough much, much more difficult, and so, like, I'm a little bit scared. Our newcomers, we can get 3 beavers and a human, or we can get 2 of our lizards and 2 humans. 2 lizards, 2 humans sounds good. I'll take that. We need 2 more houses, though, so that we can fit them. There we go. So there's 2 more houses. I do wish that there was multiple graphics for the houses just to break apart the monotony. Like add a chimney in a different spot, make the door be over here underneath the overhang instead, different roof color, something like that. I would very much like that. I really prefer when city builders have stuff like that that breaks apart the monotony. But it's, you know, everything's kind of purty. The other option they could have is if you put them in rows or if you put them in like 2x2s, they clump and they become like super buildings. I've always liked that as a feature too. I've always felt like that's a really, really fun feature to have. Why are you idle right now? Oh, does it have to have 2 people? I thought I could sneak by with 1 and it would just take a little longer. We have to deliver simple tools. I forgot about that. You've got to deliver things that the spot needs in order to harvest it. Yeah, and we used 4 over there, unfortunately. I am kind of interested in what these fossils do. That's a resource that I haven't really been introduced to yet. And so I'm kind of interested in what those do. But let's show off a threat real fast. We should be cracking this open shortly. Hopefully we don't need tools to investigate it. If we do, we're a little bit hosed. And I can't cancel this now. It's too late. This gatherer is done, so we need to move this gatherer over to here. There we go. Let's see how bad it is. Okay, so we have a big spooky tree. A strange tree has been turned into stone by the rain. It is radiating sickness. Okay. So threats. The sickness of the petrified tree radiates onto the settlement, destroys all stored wood in 10 minutes if we don't deal with this. We have to assign workers to it for 3 minutes or so. And in so doing, we can get oil vessels and a crate of wood, or we can get amber and favor. I'm going to get amber and favor. And we'll send people out to go deal with that. So our tree cutting has been nerfed until we otherwise resolve this. That's okay, because, like, it's not that big of a deal anyways. And there's so many resources down here. There's a slick shell broodmother to give us a 70 meat. We've got, like, more of those bones. We've got clay. Basically, everything I was complaining about not having is inside of there. So I'm really, really glad we cracked it open. We have an order, apparently, that is done. I can turn in the planks. So I suggest that we do that. I'm going to deliver that very, very quickly. I was hoping we would get an ancient tablet out of this threat, and then I was going to go for the other one. That way I could get the 30 beef jerky and basically get like a double tap on my completions. But, you know, didn't go that way. We're coming up on like 40 minutes right now for the video. I did want to go ahead and show off some of the achievements, and I did want to show off some of the unlocks and things that are back out in the menu. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like pick something real fast here, and then we will go ahead and kind of take care. Oh, I can get a lizard house. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, give me the lizard house. I'll take it. But yeah, let me see what I can do here. So we will save and, oh, actually abandon. Let's abandon and see how much progress we get from abandoning. So our rewards are, we got 8 XP, we got 5 currency, food stockpiles, artifacts, and machinery. The queen is not satisfied with your effort. Okay, and so we go back to the world map, and now what happens? Because this is a new feature that I've never seen before. Okay, so it looks like nothing really happens. I figured like maybe one of the other settlement companies would take over here. Yeah, because we're competing with the First Dawn company to see who can garner the queen's favor. So we can go to the Smoldering City. And inside the Smoldering City, you can buy upgrades. And they are listed here. And there are quite a lot of them. There's a ton of kind of metagame progression you can play around with. If you take a look at some of them, I've unlocked 2 already. I got the Queen's Patience, which makes her get angry with you slower. And then I also got the let's see here. I got the, what does this thing do? So a place where, so we unlocked deeds with that one, and then right here we gain more resources whenever our settlement fails or whenever our settlement wins. So those are the two things that I've unlocked. As of right now, I don't have much else to unlock, but it looks like I can embark with a bonus. This right here basically gives us faster villager movement, and we start out with some stone and we start out with some clay in our point buy thing that was at the beginning of the game. And so, as you can see, there's lots of stuff to unlock here. Like I said, this is the most structured that I think the game has been so far. This map does get populated. Some of the upgrades that I bought, they built that little building right there for the overall map. I'm guessing some kind of wizard tower or something is going to go up here. But over here, we have deeds as well. Inside deeds, these are achievements, and the achievements give you stuff. In a lot of cases, it's stuff like XP, but in other cases, it unlocks new cornerstones that you can be offered. It unlocks new buildings that add aesthetics and make people happy, stuff like that. So anyways, my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Against the Storm. Tomorrow, we will very likely have something else. I appreciate you stopping on in and lending me your time. Thank you for the luxury of it. I'll be back later, but for now, it's time for me to go. Bye, everybody.